What's up now, friends? In today's video, I'm going to be doing prep. We're going to be doing application. It's going to be a full redesign and it's a longer video, which has been requested numerous times on my channel. So I'm going to show you guys everything I did here from start to finish for a full redesign up until finish filing and top coat. So if you guys are interested in that, just keep watching. Okay, so my client here has come back. She is wearing that set that I did, the first set I did for my series with Talia in December. It was called Winter Bling. So she is back for a redesign. This is like a way older video now. I'm super behind in all my videos and filming, so you guys might see a lot of older stuff popping up on here. So right away I have to remove these crystals. I'm not going to file them off because then they create this dust. You really don't want to be breathing in crystal dust. So what I do is I just use some nail clippers. I buy a bunch of them and I just have them for clipping off crystals. So they get dull really fast when you do that, but I just have a bunch. And I clip off all the crystals. And now I've switched to a carbide bit here. And I have it on a medium to higher speed. And I'm just going around and debulking and thinning out these nails, trying to file back down to her clear base. Her nails were in really rough shape. They're completely not the shape I like on her. Normally, at this point, I would do a new set and fix them, but I don't know why I didn't in this video. Maybe I was feeling tired or something, but actually, I just saw her yesterday, and I did fully take off her nails and redo them because the shape was starting to bother me a lot. At this state, they were all still on. The shape wasn't 100% what I liked, but I knew I could work with this, and then I decided I was just going to do a new set for her next time. So what I'm doing here is I'm mostly going downward. Around the cuticle area, I do go from right to left, but most of the time I'm going down because carbides are sharp, and if you slip, you can accidentally like turn it around the finger. So you just kind of want to go down a downward motion, make sure it doesn't grab or grip. I ask my client on numerous occasions, literally, I'm probably super annoying. I say, is this hot? Does this hurt? I say that all the time, and just to make sure that I'm never hurting my clients. That should be your goal. Gentle and slow is always better. I'd rather take a longer appointment to not hurt my client than rush it and cut my client or burn her. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here, just using this carbide. You can get this anywhere. I will link some places to get carbides in my description box for you guys. I really like the shape of this. I find that this one is really good. I've tried a lot of different carbides in my 12 years of being a nail tech, and I like this shape best for removing acrylics because it seems to do the job quite quickly and safely. So here I'm just still filing this down to that clear base. And then I'm taking off that bit and I'm pushing back the cuticles now. The cuticle tool I'm using here is from Luminary nail systems, which we sell on the Nail Throne site. And I'm just gently pushing the skin back. So now I've switched to a different carbide bit. This one is not as coarse. It's more, I think the other one is extra coarse and this one is just coarse. And I do that so that, because I'm getting closer to her clear base, so I don't need as aggressive of a file. So I'm just still filing off a lot of that color and glitter, filing down to her clear base, because this client's nails are naturally quite thick and they bend downward. That's also why I was noticing in this set that I wasn't liking the shape anymore, is because the tips I use also bend downward. And normally I sculpt on this client, but I decided to use tips last time because I was just testing them out. I do sculpt her nails. Yesterday I did a new sculpt on her yesterday, so they're back to a normal shape. But in this video you can see that they're kind of curving downward, which is not my style at all, but whatever, I'm gonna fix it up. So here I've switched to my Glitterbels 180 grit hand file, and I'm just thinning out the sidewalls, trying to fix up my shape, get them even and straight again. I don't shorten or shape the nails with my carbide bits or anything. I always shape with a hand file because then you have more control. And then when I'm hand filing, I am being very soft and gentle. I'm not really like putting a lot of pressure into the shape. I'm just gently shaping the nails. Like I said, slow and steady. Here I could see that there was a lot more of that pink left on her nail, so I was just filing that down some more. I just go back and forth between the nails. I make sure to lift up my carbide and take it off or switch, just so it's never too hot and burn my client, like I said. So I'd rather just take my time, get all the color off gently and carefully. She had a tiny bit of lifting, which is super rare for this client. She never ever gets lifting. She never gets breakage. So I'll have to get all that lifting out as well. So after that, I'm switching here to this carbide bit, which we sell on the nail throne. I like it because it's super, super small, so you can get really close into that lifting, and you can go under the nail with this. I really like this one. So this is the black diamond bit from Luminary Nail Systems. Like I said, we have it on the site. So I'm just going under the nail, trying to fix up my C-curve, and then I'm using the very tip of this to try to file out some of that lifting. And like I said, again, be very gentle. You don't have to put a lot of pressure down. And then ask your client often, like, is this hot? Take it off the nail and switch to the other nail just so that it can cool down for a second. You know what I mean? Like, don't continuously file one nail over and over and over, because then it'll heat up and burn your client. Another reason I like this bit is because it gets that little bit of residue of the color that I can't get off with my other carbides off it, because it's so small. It's just so easy to get in there and get it all off carefully without breaking the nail. So down at the tip here, you can see there's a little bit of color, so I'm just using this to file that off. So after that, I'm wiping off all the dust, which I don't know if I just didn't show that or something, but here's how they look now. You can see all that white, that's all cuticle that needs to come up. So I switch to a diamond cuticle tool here. I'm just filing off the cuticle that's stuck on her nail plate, because you need to get rid of all that skin there that's on the nail plate, or else your acrylic or enhancement of any kind will just not stick to the nail. So that needs to go, all that white cuticle that's stuck. So I have my e-file on a lower to medium speed, and I'm just gently and carefully filing that. I'm not really putting a lot of pressure on or anything, just going over it. If it doesn't come up with this, then we have other cuticle tools we use. So I'm just going around with this. If it doesn't come up, it's okay. I will file it with the next tool. Then I'm going to switch my tool here to a diamond flame bit. So we have these on our site as well. And I have the file on a medium speed, like I said, and I'm just going in one side from the center of the finger down the left side. And that is just to get that extra skin. You can kind of see it coming up there. That's all skin that needs to go. And then I've actually reversed my file, and now I'm going down the right side as well. So after filing all the cuticle area, I always brush off the nails to see what else I need to see, because sometimes the dust will get in the way and kind of hide what needs to go. So now I'm switching here. This is like a buffing cuticle tool thing. So I'm kind of just using it to push that extra skin out of the way. It helps get up any skin that's in the way, but it doesn't hurt or burn your client. So it just kind of gets the skin to move out of the way and gets any extra little pieces that are sticking up. So then I'm going to switch to a sanding band just to file her natural nail, remove the shine. But here I'm showing you guys how little I am turning my e-file up. Really, really little, really, really minimal. You can actually see the turns on this. It's very, very, very little turning. And you can see, I always think that when people switch to this, it appears like it hurts your client, but I have it on such a low speed. I promise it's not hurting my client or burning her or anything. It's extremely low. It's just to remove the shine off the nail plate. And the reason I do that instead of using a hand file is sometimes I do use a hand file, but I don't know. I just find that this gets in there really close and just is a little bit gentler, even though it appears like it's not. After filing that, now I can remove all that extra dust. I'm just brushing it all off with a clean, dry dust brush, and then I have a separate brush here that I'm going to pump in this alcohol, and now this brush has alcohol in it, and then I'm just going to scrub all that extra dust off and out of the cuticle area with a scrub brush and some alcohol. This really helps get all that dust that you don't want there off. So now I'm just checking out the nails. This one has a teeny tiny little break in the corner there, but I will fill it in with acrylic in a sec. We're going to be doing our clear base, so I'm just applying my Glitterbels Dehydrator, and then I'm switching over to my Glitterbels primer. Then we can go and apply our clear base. Here I'm just dipping the wrong end into my monomer. Whoops. And then I am now ready to start. Actually, I'm noticing in this video I didn't do a clear base, and that was because I knew that next time she came I was going to do a new set. So never mind, skip the clear base idea. I didn't do a clear base. Now we are just doing a fun design inspired by the nail vibes. I've done sets like this before. Absolutely love layered looks, so that's what I decided to do in this set. She brought in a few photos, and then I just kind of mixed my own color combination. Same idea, but different color combination. So I'm using some pigments here from Magpie Beauty USA. I love these pigments. You guys have probably seen me use them quite a bit on my channel because they are super, super beautiful. So I'm also double dipping here in Carbon Black from Glitterbels. I'm using Deep Amethyst from Glitterbels. This kind of white shimmer here is Glitter Heaven Australia's pink/purple magic. It's just a chrome, kind of like the pigments from Magpie Beauty, just like random chrome without clear added in them. And that is what gives it such a vibrant look. So then I'm also using soft white from Glitterbels and these flakes from the nail team, just to add a lot of layers, a lot of dimension. So the fun thing about this design is it's abstract. You can literally do whatever you want, just throw the colors on there. And then I usually let them dry a little bit before going over and changing anything I didn't like. So here on this finger, I don't like that smear of kind of like that pinky purpley smear in the center. So I think I do change that up in a sec. But first I'm applying my flakies, and then I'm trying to even it out at the tip. I am still playing with this one finger, I guess. See, I'm trying to cover up that, and then I notice that I can't. And when the nail is too wet with product, it will be a little bit more difficult to change it. So that's why I will let this dry before going over top of it with anything else. So that's how that finger looks. So I keep doing this on all the nails, but I kind of apply it differently depending on the finger. So this one I'm going in with soft white and deep amethyst at the cuticle area. I try to get a cuticle bead in first. Clean that up there, blend that down. Then I'm double dipping again in Carbon Black and clear, pulling in some of that chrome pink purple magic. Like I said, no rhyme or reason. This doesn't need to be perfect. That's the fun part of this design, is that you can play around, layer the colors, swirl them together. It's okay if they blend together. If you want to make it more like a marble, you can do that. I like to pick up an acrylic color, place it down on the nail, then go in a little bit into the chrome, just dry with my brush, just wet with monomer. You know what I mean? Like no clear. And then pick it up, place it on the nail, and kind of pat it into place. That's what I'm doing with this beautiful greeny color. Just placing it right in the middle, leaving this I'm leaving like some open areas of clear where I can put flakes and stuff, because I think that just looks so pretty. And this nail was my most annoying nail. This client's nail on the side here, on her right side, is kind of lifted up naturally. So whenever I have a few fills with her, I start to notice that this nail specifically is shaped super strange. So that's also why I like to resculpt her nails every once in a while. So one thing to make this set look extra foggy and beautiful is to go into soft white and pull it over top of what you've just done. So that's what I'll do in a bit too. So on this corner side here, there was no color, so I just went in with some black. These nails will look super weird at first. Like you can see this one looks like it's like like bulky and chunky, but in the end it ends up looking good. So now on this one I'm coming in with deep amethyst, triple dip. I went in with clear, I went in with Carbon Black, put it near the cuticle area, cleaned off my brush, and then I'm just blending that down the nail. And like I said, I'm just going really randomly. I'm not trying to make the nails match at all. Just want it super different, super fun, just different designs on each finger. So once I place that in the center there, I kind of take the very tip of my brush and I kind of like pull the colors through each other. I go up towards the right side, down towards the left side. That's sometimes what I do when I'm doing marbling. This is not supposed to look like a marble. This is supposed to look like I have a bunch of stuff in this nail. These flakes are the Seafoam flake from Glitterbels, so I'm also applying some of those. Those are the one thing I kind of wish that I didn't put in this set. I found that the color was just slightly not what I wanted. I should have picked something different, but the fun thing about this is you can just layer until you're happy. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just layering and layering, trying different combinations, seeing what I like, making sure to leave a lot of clear. Because this set was a full set the last time she was here, there's a lot of clear left underneath, so I can have kind of like a glass look if I want. I just really love to layer all the flakes and stuff too. And then you can see I missed a huge chunk here, so I'm going to go in and fill it in, just so there's no missing spaces or anything. I always like to really pat my tip, try to make it nice and square just so it's a little bit easier when it comes to finish filing. So now I'm placing some acrylic there. I'm going to let that dry a little bit and then maneuver it just to kind of free sculpt that corner. So I'm just letting that dry before I go in. So now I'm doing my cuticle bead first. Now I've filled in that little corner nook there that was missing. And then we're just going to continue with this design, applying and layering. I was just messing around here. I just placed it down on the nail and then spread it with my brush. I just kind of like squished it to see what it would do, but yeah, I didn't like it. So I'm just continuing on doing my thing, you know. More flakies, gotta add those flakes. I didn't like the cuticle area on this nail. Here's how they're looking so far. Now I'm going in and adding some of that magic chrome from Glitter Heaven Australia and some flakies over top. Not sure how I'm liking that. So now we can go back and play around. So I guess I didn't film it, but I did cover up that nail that I didn't like there with some black. So now you can see me double dipping and applying more. So now that the nails are dry, it's a little easier to layer it again. So to do more layers and change up your look. I thought this look was really galaxy-like, and I just really liked the way it turned out. So pretty. So like I said, now's the time to change anything you didn't like by adding some black, more flakes, stuff like that before encapsulating. So I do go over the nails a lot with the soft white to give it that kind of foggy look that we're kind of going for, that foggy layered look that the Nail Vibes was doing. That's the best part of this design, is the fact that like you kind of cover up a lot of it with like that foggy white. It just it looks so pretty. So now I'm encapsulating these nails. So sometimes when I encapsulate, I go in with the clear and double dip it into the soft white just so I get even more of that foggy look. So when encapsulating nails like this length, I always do my tip first. I just find that I get the tip nice and even and squared before applying my cuticle bead and encapsulating. Plus, there was not a lot of acrylic at the tip here, and there was a lot more acrylic in the center, so I do have to build up the tip a bit. So just apply my bead, and then I just gently pat it and wipe off my brush whenever it tries to stick. You don't want your brush to be too wet or your product will just kind of slide off the nail, so you want to make sure to wipe off your brush often. So now I'm going in, grabbing my next bead, draining the bead, applying it near the cuticle area. Then I'm using my brush to kind of maneuver it. I want to keep the bead behind my brush, if you guys know what I mean. So the very tip of my brush is at the cuticle area. The bead is at the belly of my brush at the back. I'm patting it into place at the cuticle area, pulling that bead down with my brush to encapsulate the rest of this nail, create my apex and blend it in with the bead at the bottom. This doesn't need to be completely perfect. It might appear a little bit thicker, but that's because of all the layers. And we will file this, so in the end it will look good. It's better to have it thicker and encapsulated fully with an apex than to have it too thin. So now I'm applying this at the tip, kind of fading it up the nail. So I gotta even this out at the tip a lot. I'm just patting and pulling, dragging off any extra that I don't need. When my brush is still too wet, I wipe it off on my paper towel, and then I go and I continuously pat that tip, try to get it really even, like I said. So I really work on my tip encapsulation. Now we're going in with our cuticle bead, wiping off my brush, maneuvering that bead around my brush, pushing it up towards the cuticle area. Like I said, keeping the majority of the bead at the back of my brush, behind my brush. And then you're going to want to wipe off your brush a lot. Do not get monomer on the skin. Just pat around. Try to avoid touching the skin. Try to avoid wiping the skin with your monomer. That's how allergies are born. We don't want that. And now I'm just blending this down into the bottom bead. Like I said, it might look a little crazy and thick, but we will file these in the end. Okay, so I know you guys wanted longer videos, but I'm sure you don't want to see me doing the same thing on every nail. So I did all 3 of those, did the rest of the nails, and now we can finish filing. So I like this carbide for finish filing because of the shape of going under the nail. It makes a nice C-curve. Here I'm just trying to even it out to make it go from my apex into a straight line the best I can, but like I said, her nails are curved, so I'm not going to get the shape that I normally love. I'll do the best I can, but it's just not possible with the nails curving not exactly straight out for me. So here I'm going from the center of the nail down, just a light, gentle file. You don't want to put a lot of pressure down. You're just trying to debulk the nails gently and carefully. So I definitely want to debulk this nail right in the center. That's where most of the bulk is, which is making this nail look too thick, especially in the sides. So I'm just kind of going in a downward motion, trying to debulk the nails. The rest of the debulking I will do with a hand file. But I just like to put in a little bit of effort debulking with a carbide to make it a little bit easier on me, because it does hurt your wrists when you are finish filing. So, well, it does hurt my wrists. I don't know about you guys, but my wrists hurt when I finish file. So I try to debulk as much as I can with an e-file first. So now I've switched over to a hand file, and now I'm just doing the sidewalls and the tip first, and then I will go over the whole nail, which I'm doing now. So I'm switching back and forth between my 180 grit file, which I'm doing right now. I'm using my 180 to go over the nail and to smooth it out, even it out with that. And then I'm using the 150 grit to get the shape of the sidewalls and the tip. Because the 150 grit is coarser, which means you can get a little bit of a nicer shape with it, but both grits are great. I use both often. And I spend a lot of time finish filing, because that's my favorite part of the nails is the shape. So I just love having a nice shape. So I do spend a lot of time finish filing, especially in this set when the shape wasn't exactly my style, the shape that I like. So I had a lot of fixing to do. So I go under the nail and then I kind of straighten it out. So I go under and file, and then I straighten the file out to do the sides. Then I go up and down at the tip. You want to hold the nail into place so it doesn't feel weird for your client. Switching again to my 180 grit file to go around the cuticle area and smooth this nail out. Like I said, I went under the nail and then I turn the file sideways. You guys see what I'm doing there? That's just the way I get these sidewalls to be straight and come straight out, straight from the top view and come straight out from the side view. And I'm just going over this whole nail, trying to even it out as much as I can. When I'm filing over her nail, you can see I've used one of my fingers to hold her nail into place, and then that way there's no pressure or pain or anything or uncomfortableness. Is that a word? Uncomfortableness. And yeah, I just keep finish filing until I'm happy with the shape. Switching back and forth. Don't rush this step, because like I said, it's one of the most important steps to get the shape to look the way you want. If you rush finish filing, you're probably not going to be happy with the outcome of the set. So my most important parts of doing nails would be prep and finish filing. Art comes second. You can see in this frame how I hold my hand file. It might help you guys. If your hand file is flimsy, then your shape won't be perfect. So when I'm doing the side walls, I always make sure that the file has one of my fingers at the back, holding most of the file to keep it nice and straight, if you know what I mean. So here you can see my pointer finger is halfway up the file. That's keeping the file straight, and then I have more control over it. And then when I'm doing the other side, I push my thumb up the file for the strength. So you just have to really play around with your hand placements and where you actually hold your hands when you're filing to get nice straight sidewalls and stuff like that. Or you could use a metal file board if you're looking for straight sidewalls as well. Now I filed all the nails and I wipe them off with a dust brush, and then I'm going in and buffing the nails just lightly, especially around the cuticle area and underneath the nail, the sidewalls. It doesn't really matter that much, but you don't want to buff too much or your gel top coat might not stick to the nails. So now after I've done that, I'm just dusting off all the nails, getting all that dust off. And then I'm going to use pure acetone. I actually learned this from Christy Meakin from Nao Nails. And all she does is just a wipe on the nails, and it gets rid of all the scratches. You don't want to wipe them too much or else they might get sticky. So just one wipe gets rid of all the scratches, and it's great for applying your top coat after. So after that, now I'm going to apply some crystals. So I just applied some of my Ugly Duckling Shtick-It in the corner of her nail on her ring finger here. And then I'm applying a big crystal in the center, and then I'm going around that crystal with some smaller crystals. And I'm going to cure this. So the Ugly Duckling Shtick-It cures. And the reason I'm using the Ugly Duckling Shtick-It and not the Glitterbels base glue is because I have my client wash her hands almost immediately after this, and I just don't want to get that white foam you can get from resins not being dry. So I do use the Ugly Duckling Shtick-It just to make it easier for myself. So now after that, I cured her crystals, and now I can top coat these nails. So I'm using my Glitterbels No Wipe top coat. I apply it near the cuticle area, and then I just drag it down the nail. When it comes to crystals, I start at the very tip, get my tip applied with my top coat, and then I'm going to go near the crystals. Don't go over top of the crystals, but you can push the top coat up underneath the crystals a little bit. And then if I have too much top coat on the nail, I just use my gloved finger to wipe it. You don't want to wipe top coat with your natural finger skin because, like I said, you don't want overexposure to products and creating any allergies. So if you're going to wipe the nail, make sure you're using a glove. And then this is the best part because you can see all that beautiful glitter coming through. It's so pretty. And then I'll show you guys the thumb. Did I add crystals to that? I did. And there's some crystals on the thumb as well. How pretty does this look? Doesn't it look like a galaxy? So after that's been cured a full 2 minutes, I am now going to do my next step, which I don't really show you guys ever, but I'll show you guys now. I'm going to be using some cuticle oil here, applying it at the cuticle area. I'm just going to use my finger to rub that in just a little bit. And then I'm using this ball bit. So this is just a smoother, and I use this to massage the cuticle oil into the skin, and it just helps for nail photos. So once that has all been massaged into the skin, I have my client wipe the rest of it in, and then she goes and washes her hands really well. I put on a ring, and then we pose for the photo and the video. So here is the finished design. What do you guys think? I love this set so much. I know the shape is not 100% perfect or exactly what I normally do, but I had a little bit of struggles with this set. But I still wanted to show you guys because I did have a lot of people ask me how I did this set. So I did want to show you guys how it was done, even if it's not 100% perfect. So I hope you guys liked this set, and if you did, please give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment, and consider subscribing if you're not already. Please click the bell next to the subscription button in order to be notified when I post. Make sure you check out the Nail Vibes on Instagram. I will link her in my description box, and everything used in this set will be in there as well. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Love you so much, and I will see you next time. Bye!